I woke up in the morning and I saw this post. It came up on my feed. And it was very upsetting when I read the post. Over 25 million Black YouTubers in America, and not a single serious conversation on building any independent, relevant institutions for ourselves. We don't want to be free. We want to be comfortable. Just give us enough toys and activities, and we will never, ever organize against the power structure again. Dr. Umar is wrong. I strongly disagree, not in the essence of what it's saying per se, but the fact that it is such a blanket statement. I took it personally. I took that post personally. I felt, based on the amount of work that I've done over the 2.5 years that my platform has existed, the fact that this is all I'm about, what he's saying that YouTubers don't do, this is literally all I'm about. It affected me when I read that, because I said to myself that, my goodness, you know that I have close to 1 million subscribers and followers, 100,000 on TikTok, almost 110,000 on YouTube, 75,000 plus on Instagram, 10,000 on Substack. Having close to 1 million people, still, you're not at a point where people know that you're doing this kind of work, because the only thing I talk about is autonomy, self-sufficiency, independence, community, freedom, controlling of your own narrative, building institutions that are independent and autonomous around education, around information, true African history, current affairs, the future of the continent, the future of the people. The Back to Africa handbook is about building a bridge between the diaspora and the community. The Back to Africa handbook is available. An ebook, 80+ page ebook that you asked me to make. Within 3 months, I put it on the table. It's available to be purchased. The True History of Africa series is on its way via the 300. The 300 itself, my independent funding initiative. I said I was going to do it in January. It's 3-4 months later. It started a few days ago. The funds have come in. The contributions have come in. The votes are being set. This is not Patreon. It's not Kickstarter. It's not YouTube algorithms and AdSense. It's not GoFundMe, TikTok Creator Fund, Meta Fund, Facebook, all of these things. It's none of these things. It's independent. These are the things that I've been doing on my platform. So when I saw that, I said, you know, you're making a blanket generalized statement that is very unfair to people who are actually doing it. And I'm not saying I'm the only one. There are a handful of other YouTubers and content creators in the space of Africa and the diaspora who are also trying to do the things that I'm doing. Pan-African lifestyle, let me shout them out. Pan-African lifestyle is for real. The guy has reached out to me. I believe he's Congolese. Correct me if I'm wrong. He saw my videos. The guy has come and he's trying to do it, the same thing you're talking about, Pan-African lifestyle is trying to do. There are others out there. Let me shout out Zella Panther, the Cameroonian lady. Fantastic content creator on TikTok. I don't speak French anymore, so I don't understand a lot of the things that she says, but she supported me. I support her. Independent, autonomous. She promotes books, education, promoted my graphic novel. They're out there, Dr. Umar. They are out there. And what I would have loved to see is, instead of a post like this, it would be a post saying that it troubles me that most YouTubers in the Black and African space have this mentality. Are there any of you that have the mentality that I'm talking about that is necessary for building these institutions autonomously? And if you exist, reach out to me. I want to promote you. I want to let people know you exist, because that's the fundamental problem. And with the kind of virality that you, Dr. Umar, have, you can actually help the young YouTubers who actually have the right mentality to do the work that you say needs to be done. The reason why coonery and buffoonery is so prevalent in the Black and African and diaspora community is because of the cash. It pays to play out our community, because the community, the mainstream society, dominant society, whatever you want to call it, they pay members of our community to play us out. You make money that way. There are more people outside of the community that will put in donations, join memberships of Black content creators that say negative things about our community. Candace Owens' entire platform is based on that. Like her whole platform, she makes most of her, or made most of her money from saying things that are negative about Black people. And listen, I'm not trying to make a thing about that. Like whether you agree with her or not is irrelevant to the point I'm making. The point I'm making is simply that by putting out those messages, there are more people outside of the community that are willing to support people like that than people within our community willing to support people like myself or Pan-African lifestyle in doing the work that is actually beneficial for the community. This is the reality of things. So till we attack the real problems, and the real problem is what's going on in our minds as to why we do not understand as a community that you need to reward this kind of activity financially and with emotional and real support so that individuals feel incentivized to do it. Because I can tell you for a fact that within that group of 25 million Black YouTubers in America, there are at least 1 million of them who want to do the right thing by the community. And maybe some of them even tried to do the right thing by the community, but the community did not support them. They have to pay the rent. They have to eat. They have to survive. And they're looking at their people over there who are playing the community out, living well, eating well, paying their rent, surviving, paying school fees, medical bills, getting medical bills paid, doing things, investing with cash that they're making by doing that. How are they incentivized to keep doing this when people in our community actually argue about paying and supporting them? You know what I'm saying? Like people actually complain, oh, you're just trying to, why should it should be free, it should be this or whatever. That's the reality of things. So you've got to look at that and think about those things. Because people were telling me when I said I was going to make this video, they were like, oh, he made it, Dr. Umar had the school and there were donations and the school hasn't been created or whatever. That is not what I want to have a conversation about. I don't want to have a conversation about that because that's a separate convo and I do not believe in, as a Black African creator, getting on here to attack another African guy who is preaching for African unity and Pan-Africanism. That, to me, that's just ridiculous. Other people can do that. I don't do that. He makes many, many, many points that are very, very helpful and productive for the community. A lot of them. Some of the stuff I don't agree with, a lot of the stuff I do agree with, but there's things I don't, obviously that are a bit too extreme. Fantastic speaker, very intelligent individual. And I think that is the reason why when I saw the post, I was like, man, this is like, you feel deflated. It's because you're doing so much and you got somebody in the same space, because he is in the same space of Pan-African conversations and building a bridge between the diaspora and Africa. He's very much a very valuable commentator in what I've been trying to do, which is why the Back to Africa handbook even exists, is in promoting the bridge between these communities. So when I see somebody say that, I'm like, Mike, listen, I'm here. I'm doing the work every day. Every single day, I'm doing the work. And for those people who've been on my platform for the last 2.5 years that I've been doing this, you know what I've been doing. The 300 the train is moving. And I told people in the 300, and by the way, like that concept of independence funding is one of the linchpins for what Dr. Umar is talking about. If you don't have the funds, and the funds that are not tied to the establishment, you're wasting your time. And that is the reason why it was so important for me to do it and not do it with investment. And for those who do not know, it is simply 300 of my most dedicated supporters join this initiative, whereby once a quarter, it's 4 quarters, once a quarter, every 3 months, we have a meeting where I present 3 projects that I want to make for the diaspora and the African community in the fields of education, information, arts, entertainment, history, all of these things. And then you put in your contribution, where the $100 is the minimum, but then you can put in as much as you want, over $100, as much as you want. But you commit that is what you're going to contribute once a quarter. Then you vote on the project you want me to do for that quarter. The winning project, I go away, I make it, and then I present it at the meeting for the next quarter. and then we vote again for 3 more projects, which might include the projects that didn't win the quota before. And that way we build and we build and we build autonomously. And I said that as long as I have 300 dedicated people out of my 1 million people who are following my platform, this will be doable. Now, let me explain to you why the experience I've had with the 300 highlights what I want Dr. Umar to talk about when he talks about this issue, because it is not that simple. I had 800 plus applications, over 800 people. Now, when I put out the APB and I said I wanted to do this through my State of the African Union address video, which hundreds of thousands of people watched, I said, this is not a compulsory initiative. Everybody who watches my content for free all these years, you do not have to apply to this. You will still get my content. I only want the most serious people applying for this. People where putting in this thing once a quarter is not going to kill you. It is easy for you. And you are serious. You're a person of your word. Your word is bond. It means something to you. Your word actually means something. Only those people should apply. Do you know, guys, that out of the 800 people, only maybe 100 people are, when we are done with this, are actually going to walk through the door, actually going to put in the contribution. These are 800 people who listened to what I said, listened to the messages. Many of them have watched the videos over these years, all the commitment and all the stuff that I've put out. And you listened to that message where I said, please do not do this if you're not serious. And you still did it and ignored all the emails you got, ignored all the correspondence you got, ignored all the reach outs you got, ignored all the conversations. And we're going to hit the deadline of contributions and you will not contribute and you will not be part of it. You will be expunged. That is the issue as to why more YouTubers are not doing what they need to do for the African community, because the community isn't ready. The only reason why I've been able to do this is because I make money doing something else. So I do this for free. You think I'm making money doing this? I do this for free. I don't get paid to do this. YouTube doesn't promote my videos. These poor YouTubers, the 1 million out of the 25 million who want to do right by us, and I've spoken to some of them, which is why this was difficult for me to read that post. I know some of them really want to do the right thing. YouTube won't let them. They put out a video talking about real talk. The video won't get any views. Then they'll say the algorithm is saying that people don't want to see it. Nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. Africans do want to see it. The algorithm doesn't favor these conversations. African Stream got run out of town. They got run out off the internet because Blinken said that they work with the Russians. That's all he needed to do, just say that they did. No evidence presented whatsoever, run those guys out of town. That's what people are afraid of. YouTubers are scared because this is their bread and butter. And these platforms will run them out of town if they start saying those things. Who's going to pay them? Us? I've made the 300. We don't have that mentality. We're not going to look after ourselves, which is what made me so upset about it, because I was embarrassed. It's embarrassing because people like Eric Prince of Blackwater makes videos saying we're incapable of looking after ourselves. Multiple people make videos and make posts and talk about how Africans are inept. They cannot organize. They're not committed. They don't look after each other. They don't stay united. All of this nonsense that annoys me. So when I do something like this and then I see it play out, it is upsetting. I see it play out that way and I'm like, wow, I know this shouldn't be true, but maybe they're right about us. Maybe this is what is holding us back. We just cannot act. There is no conviction. It's just talk. So that is the reason why, as a community, we would rather protest and march, shout, and make noise as opposed to actually go quietly and do things. So when I see that post, it is not that simple. These YouTubers need to know that they have the backing of the community if they are to risk their livelihoods to start putting out these sorts of messages of real autonomy and unity. Because if you think that, oh, they're not putting out militant messages, if they just put out that, that's fine. Guys, it is worse than putting out militant messages. You put out that kind of stuff on TikTok, YouTube, and any of these places, and look what happens to your views. Because let me explain something to you. Inherently, talking about African autonomy and unity is anti-West. You have to talk about neocolonialism and the impacts of that history on us today in order to understand the importance of independence and autonomy and to guard against the pitfalls when you start producing those things, because you need to understand how you were sabotaged in the past so you do not get sabotaged in the present. And once you start making those kinds of videos and putting out those kinds of content, watch your reach go down the tubes. So I will say this. This is a public invitation to Dr. Umar. Please reach out to the MEC. info@themec.io. Everybody knows where I'm at. I'm right here. I've been here for 2.5 years consistently. Those who've been with me from day one know I'm consistent. I've never gone away. 2.5 years and counting. Standard. Talking the same talk that Africa, we need to help ourselves. Thomas Sankara, he who feeds you controls you. I do not want to be controlled by anybody. We feed ourselves. But in order to do this, we need to actually work together. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank from the bottom of my heart every single member of the 300 that's actually contributed and have committed to what we are doing. You're special people. You are truly special people. And I do not take you for granted for a second. And we're going to show what is possible when it comes to what Dr. Umar is talking about, because we're actually doing it. But my point is to show there are very few of us who are willing to do that thing. And it is not just the YouTubers' fault or the content creators. There are many of us out here who are working very hard. There are people who have just been wiped off the internet. I've got people calling me. Wanjiku Stevens in Kenya keeps getting her platform removed. She supported me. I'm shouting her out. Wanjiku Stevens of Kenya. Her Instagram with almost 1 million people just disappears and then comes back, disappears and comes back. What did she do wrong? She's highlighting what's going on in Kenya to let people know in the diaspora of what's really going on over there. This is what you're fighting against. Do you know how many YouTubers I've called or Instagram people I've called or people that I reach out to them to try and tell them, they say, oh, well, you know what? We have to be careful. I can't post that. I can't say that. That's what you're fighting against. So I ask you, like, listen, this is, like I said, it's an open invitation. Reach out to me, all the people who are interested, because listen, you've got a fantastic platform in terms of reach and virality. What we need for what we're trying to do in terms of what you're talking about is just awareness. I don't want cash from Dr. Umar or anybody else. I just want awareness. Let everybody know that we exist and we're in here. We're doing the thing. We're doing the work. And anybody who's watching this, feel free to tag Dr. Umar in this video. Feel free to tag him, because I think it's important that he sees that, no, there are people out here doing what you're talking about. We're trying, but we're fighting an uphill battle. We're fighting an uphill battle here. Like, we're fighting our own people. And I'll say this in closing. Every person who applied for the 300 and pledged and did not contribute to Q1, when you are expunged, you will not be allowed to rejoin in the future. Future places will be reserved for new people who find the message and actually follow through. And in order for people to join in the future, you will have to do your pledge upon sign up. There's going to be no more pledging on a whim anymore for Q2 forward, because by that point, people will actually start seeing what we're making. So that is how it is going to work. I'm just letting you know, because this is not about it's not about cash. It's about principle and mentality. Because if it was just about cash, I would let every Tom, Dick, and Harry that wanted to donate just walk in the door. I'm not doing that. So I'm letting you know, once this deadline elapses, everybody that's pledged and applied, that didn't, wherever this community goes and this initiative goes, you're not coming back. Again, that's what we're fighting against. It's psychological now. This is psychological warfare. The money is there. The finances are there. The minerals are there. The bodies are there, the humans are there, the souls are there. It's now psychological now. That's why we have 25 million YouTubers, of which the majority of them are not even thinking about building anything for the society, for the community. So he's not wrong about that. But it's wrong that it's everybody. It's not everybody. And also, you've got to talk about the reasons why. Those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know if I've overreacted. Let me know. I don't think I have. Let me know if I've overreacted. Let me know if you think I shouldn't have even said anything. But I felt like I needed to defend myself and my platform because I saw the amount of people who were agreeing with that and were not acknowledging that people like myself exist.